Every producer has been there. You've got an 8-bar loop that grooves, the drums are sounding tight, the bass line works, and the energy is there. And then you open the arrangement view and freeze. You don't know what comes next. You don't know how long things should be. And every time you try to build something around the loop, it just sounds like the same 8 bars repeating over and over again. But that's not necessarily a creativity problem. It's a process problem. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework that I use to take a good loop and turn it into a full arrangement without sitting there for hours trying to figure out what goes where. But before we get into that, my name's Miles, and if you're serious about getting better at production and want to go deeper with a community of like-minded producers, our production membership was built for exactly that. If you'd like to find out more, the link will be in the description below. So point 1 is going to be getting out of loop mode. The first thing I'd actually change is when you start arranging. A lot of producers finish an 8-bar loop and immediately go into arrangement, but I don't think that's always going to be the best approach. You've just spent an hour, maybe several hours, listening to the same loop over and over again. And without knowing it, you've actually fatigued your ears and grown attached to these decisions that you've made throughout that process. So when I get to the point where I feel like the loop is good enough, I'll save it and just step away for a little while. Might be later that day, might be the next day, but I want some separation between writing the idea and arranging the idea. So to show you exactly what I do, I'll go into Ableton here. I'll go up to the top, click File, I'll click Collect All and Save. Everything should say yes. Then you hit OK. Remember, this is what you do before you start arranging. Then what you do is you go back to File and you go Save Live Set As. And inside the actual project folder here, we're going to call it, so grinding is just the reference track that I used, and we're going to do arrangement, like so. Then we're going to hit save. So that means we've just saved our file as an arrangement file. So in case we make a mistake or we don't like how it's turned out, we can always just go back to this original file and just start the process again. And just remember too that your DAW isn't meant to be destructive. If you save your projects regularly, like this, and you make a mistake in the future, you'll always be able to come back and fix those changes. And your arrangement isn't destructive either. You're not permanently changing the music. If you remove something and hate it, you can just undo it. So if you completely screw up your arrangement, that's fine. That's why we've saved this. So you can come back and just start again. So it might sound really obvious, but I think a lot of producers subconsciously treat the arrangement as like a point of no return. You're not. So give yourself permission to experiment. So the first step is simple. Finish the loop, save it, step away, then come back and arrange with fresh ears. Point 2 is going to be performing the arrangement rather than building it. Now, when I'm actually ready to arrange, there's actually a workflow that I really like, and that's performing the arrangement rather than building it manually. And that's why I think it's really important to start your projects in the actual session view if you use Ableton. But if you've actually started your project in arrangement view, you can easily push everything over to the session view, which is what you see here, because we're going to trigger these on the fly. So just to show you exactly how I do this, what we're going to do is we're going to press record and we're going to hit play. And we can see that it's slowly printing onto the arrangement view here. And all you do is you just trigger the next clip. It doesn't need to be in this sequence. It can be in any sequence you like. might go into the breakdown. And you'll slowly build it out as the track develops. You can turn things off. And there you go. So that's exactly why I like doing it this way. You're making decisions while the music is moving, and you're actually reacting to how the music is unfolding rather than copying and pasting in building blocks as you go. And when you've stopped recording, Ableton spits this out. Now, it's not going to be perfect. Things might have come in maybe a bar or two late or early. That's fine. Remember that the performance, which is what we see here in the arrangement view, is going to be your first draft. You're separating two jobs. First is making musical decisions, and the second is cleaning it up. It's much easier than trying to make every single arrangement decision perfect while you're trying to build it out. Point 3 is going to be designing the energy arc. Once you got the first performance down, I want you to go over to your arrangement view like so, and just zoom out and have a look at how your track looks. And I want you to look at where your track looks most full. As you can see here, this is probably the fullest part of our entire track, as well as here. Which means that this is probably our chorus, as well as this. This is probably our breakdown, as well as here. And this is probably our intro and verse. And this is going to be our outro. Remember that a good arrangement isn't just a collection of sections. It's an actual energy arc. So when I say energy, I don't necessarily mean volume. I'm talking about density, tension, contrast, and release. And if the track is sitting at the same energy from start to finish, then the listener doesn't have anything to react to. But if you're creating tension and release throughout your arrangement by having breakdowns here, then the full track comes in, then you're giving the listener a reason to keep listening. So the exact structure of your arrangement doesn't matter, but as long as you're changing something every 8 bars, like we are here, and here, we have the intro, and we have a bit of a breakdown, then we've got a bit of a verse, and we have our main breakdown, then we have the full chorus here. And it honestly doesn't need to be much every single time. It just has to be a noticeable difference from the last 8 bars. Now, like I said, it's a bit rough because we perform this, but this can be easily changed. Point 4 is going to be giving yourself 3 arrangements. So here's probably my favorite way of stopping yourself from getting trapped in arrangement mode. You have to give yourself a limit. If I don't like my first arrangement, I'm not going to spend 3 hours trying to fix it. What I'll do is I'll save it and start again. but I'll try and have a different approach. Maybe the second version has a longer intro, maybe the breakdown happens earlier or later, maybe the main groove comes in straight away and you can create contrast elsewhere. The point is, you're not trying to make arrangement 1 slightly better, you're just trying to create a completely different interpretation of the same idea. Then I'll listen to all 3 and I'll just pick the strongest. Because without a restriction, it's incredibly easy to get stuck in this endless loop of maybe I'll just move this, maybe I'll take this out, maybe the breakdown should be 8 bars longer. And before you know it, you've spent 3 hours rearranging the same 8-bar loop. This restriction helps you to move forward. And if this track doesn't work out, it teaches you things that you're going to benefit in the next one. So what I do is I'll go up to File, Save Live Set As, and in the same project, we'll just call this 1. Click Save. After that, just go back to the original project before you arranged it and just start again. Don't try to find the perfect arrangement. Give yourself 3 possibilities and choose the one that serves the track best. So if you're stuck with an 8-bar loop, here's the process that I'd recommend. First, get away from the loop. Save the project and come back with fresh ears. Perform the arrangement rather than trying to program it perfectly. Let the music play and make decisions in that motion. Think about the energy arc. Don't just think about what comes next. Think about tension, release, contrast, and what you want the listener to feel. And if your first arrangement doesn't work, just start again. But be honest with yourself. Give yourself 3 genuine attempts at trying to arrange the track, and if it doesn't work, move on to the next track. If it does work, pick the strongest of the 3 and roll with that one. So if you want to go deeper into the techniques that were in this video, that's exactly what we're building inside our production membership. The link will be in the description below. What have you found to be the hardest part of turning your loops into a full track? Is it knowing what comes next, knowing when to change something, or is it actually just trying to finish the arrangement? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you, make sure you leave us a like and subscribe. In this video, I go over the main reasons why I feel like producers don't improve. You should check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.